Yo, 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 YouTube. Today's video is all about the do's and the don'ts of the National Sports Cards Collectors Convention. Thank you for joining me. This is the Dollar Box. My name is Adam. The Dollar Box is dedicated to helping collectors and investors search for undervalued, underpriced cards and look through that dollar box for gems. So let me give you a little bit of background on myself. I have been to 3 nationals in the past, all in Chicago. Of course, this year's is in Chicago as well. Not only that, this particular convention center, I went to Comic-Cons at this convention center for about 15 to 16 years in a row, somewhere in there. So I do have a lot of experience going to larger conventions. That being said, the nationals in the past was just basically collectors attending it. I did go to the most recent one, which was 2019 in Chicago, and there was some buzz, some chatter. The hobby and the investment type portfolio investors was growing. You could even tell at that show, but it wasn't anywhere near what it is today. It's going to be the biggest national ever, in my opinion. And there's going to be a lot going on, some competition for depending on what you're looking to buy. There's probably others out there looking to buy it as well. So there's going to be some things you need to do in order to have a great experience. So first on the list is food. I can't stress this enough. Bring snacks, bring water, bring bottled energy drinks, whatever your taste is. Because food in the convention center is expensive. It's not very good, I don't think. And there can be long lines and nowhere to sit to eat and messy and all that good stuff. So the more you can bring yourself, the more you'll save money, the more money you'll have for cards, and the more time you'll have to spend in the show actually looking for what you're there to do. The next one seems like an obvious one, but bring cash. Many of the dealers will take PayPal, will take Venmo, but most dealers want cash, will give you better prices for cash. It's quicker and easier to deal with. It's not touchless. That's the downside, of course, and with the pandemic we're just coming out of and things like that. There's such a move to go to cashless. However, I do believe at card shows, especially large card shows, cash is king. There's more to the card show than just the card show. What I mean by that is there's going to be afterlife post card show. So there'll be parties at night, there'll be hosted trade events, there'll be dinners. Some of the vendors will host different things. So make sure you plan to extend your day if you really want to get a full experience. One of the biggest things I regretted not doing at the last national was coming for all 5 days, meaning attending the preview night on Wednesday night. You have to have a VIP ticket to get into it, but it allows you to kind of get in during setup night for a lot of the dealers. Many will be set up already, but it kind of gives you first crack at some stuff. I wished I had done that 2 years ago when we went, because I felt like some of the dollar boxes and deal boxes that had some nice stuff had some holes in it, meaning I believe there was lots of purchases done on Wednesday that I didn't get to participate in. So I will not be missing that this year. I will be there as soon as those doors open on Wednesday. Now, if you're coming in from out of town and you need accommodations, my best suggestion there would be to book right through the convention. They do have a hotel booking service. This is extremely common for larger conventions, and all the conventions I've been to over the years, in Chicago especially, this is something that I've done. So your reservation isn't technically with the hotel until it gets closer to the date. Your reservation is with the reservation company that will then transfer all those reservations to that hotel. So the main reason I say that is because it will help you get a connected hotel. One of the great parts of hosting this convention in Chicago is that there's some major hotels, a skywalk or a walk across the street away from the convention center. I believe this is extremely important. Chicago can be a difficult city to travel in. Staying at hotels downtown, trying to get into the show, get into that half-hour early admission to the show. I mean, you're looking at 35 to 45 minutes of travel just to get to the convention center. Then, to top that off, if you have cards and bags and different things you're trying to tote with you, it's a lot easier if you're at the connected hotel, because you're not trying to get that in and out of cars or on the train or however your method of transportation is. And it should save you some money in a way, because if you're going to Uber or do something like that, it's not an inexpensive city to get transportation in, and again, the time as well. So if you stay right there, your only expense really would be parking.
No parking spot.
And then there's parking. So there is plenty of parking at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center areas. However, it's not like you just pull right up to a front spot and walk in the door. So driving there and parking every day and getting in with the other 50,000, 60,000 attendees is quite a task. However, if you're at the connected hotel, you can simply walk in and be ready to go. One more thing to mention about staying at the connected hotels, or at least experiencing the connected hotels at night after the shows, there's usually trading in the lobbies, there's people getting together in the bars, the social areas and things, and talking about cards. Again, trading, buying, selling. This convention is unique. Basically, there is card deals going on 24 hours a day. Next, we kind of go back to food, and this to me is a very important one. It's Giordano's Pizza. So I'm staying at the Hyatt. I always stay at the Hyatt. I'm a Hyatt Club member. They always treat me well. They've got an excellent connected hotel, great buffet for breakfast. But there's also a Giordano's about a half a block, I want to say, right outside the back lobby doors. And worth everything. So try Giordano's Pizza if you haven't been to Chicago. Get that deep dish. It's delicious. The other nice thing is it's easy to keep overnight, reheat in the morning, and things like that. The more calories and foods you can pack in outside of convention time, the less time you have to, and money you have to spend when you're in the convention eating. If you did book through the convention for your hotel and they dropped your Wednesday and Thursday night accommodations, or Tuesday night, however early you're getting there, have no fear. Again, unfortunately, this is something that's fairly common with large conventions, or any sort of reservation system. What happens is when you're booking far out, which I booked my hotel room for this probably a good 9 months ago, they think you're just there for the weekend, and they want to free up that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday schedule for maybe those that are doing extended stays from the weekend before. So all you need to do is contact them and say, hey, my reservation was dropped. I need that Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever you originally booked for, and they will take care of it. So in this instance, when it happened to me, I actually contacted the convention's customer service, and I explained to them what happened, because I knew they would understand that, well, geez, Wednesday night's preview night, you want to get in on Tuesday, whatever. So make sure you take care of that as soon as you can, so that that room isn't, in turn reserved for someone else. My next tip seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people I see not following this rule. Wear extremely good walking shoes. Bring a backpack, a bag, whatever, and wear comfortable clothes that you can be in for many hours at a time, walking around on concrete floors and bending down to look at cards. I see so many attendees go in flip-flops and They don't have anything to carry anything in, so they've got their arm loads full of stuff, and they wear, you know, warm, tight shirts and things like that. So you want to be as extremely comfortable dressed as possible, and those walking shoes are huge. Maybe the first night, you know, a couple hours on Wednesday, it wouldn't be as big a deal, but you come to Friday or Saturday and you're walking again all day on those concrete floors, bending down, sitting in, you know, little cheap convention chairs, digging through boxes, whatever. You're really going to appreciate those good quality shoes. I always bring, for my bag, I always just bring a backpack. It's easy, I can wear it. It's pretty secure, it's heavy duty. No one can just grab it from me and run. Got plenty of pockets I can put stuff in. I bring some little card boxes and things with me so that if I buy loose stuff, you know, I've got something to put it in right away to protect them. And I do a lot of dollar box buying, so for me, I'm probably going to walk out of there with some quantity, and I definitely want something to carry it in and keep my arms and hands free to look at more tables as well as recording. The last one is just kind of a tip on admission. I strongly suggest buying the minimum VIP ticket. It gets you in all 5 days, it gets you a couple other goodies and stuff, but if you're planning to go more than one day or go for that whole weekend, it's the only way to go. You certainly don't want to pay day by day because it'll get you a little bit more. It gets you in a half hour early each day. You get to go to the Wednesday night preview night, some free autographs, things like that. And when the first day you get there, you get to exchange that ticket for a badge. So every day when you're going in and out, you don't have to get hand stamped and keep track of each ticket for each day, things like that. You simply go in that one time, get your VIP bag, and get your badge, and you're all set for the whole weekend. And last but not least, have fun. Conventions are fun. I've been to plenty of conventions where people get all worked up because their plan hasn't worked out perfectly and this and that. And the event is just huge and it's unpredictable, and there's so many people that you just need to go with a clear mind, have a good time, enjoy yourself, talk cards with people, you know, meet a bunch of people in the community, look for your YouTube influencers if you're watching YouTube. I will be there all 5 days. I will be filming. I'm going with a couple of good friends of mine, and we're just looking to have a great time away for the weekend. Haven't been able to really go out and do much the last couple of years like most of you due to COVID. So I'm really looking forward to it. If I walk out of there with nothing, I'll be happy because I'll have a great time. So before we move on to the what not to do at the National, I have one bonus do at the National. This actually applies to any major convention. When a convention is large, it has several halls, so for several different tables, dealer numbers, things like that. When you're shopping, you don't necessarily want to buy the first card you see at a place because you might find it at a better deal or find something else you would like more. However, let's just say for the sake of argument, you see it on Wednesday night in the preview night and you say, man, I really like that card, but I want to see what else the weekend has to offer me. Sunday, you say, I think I'm going to get that card. I saw that the first day. I still really want it. It was a good deal. I'm going to go back and see if it's there. Where did you see it? That was 3 days ago. Are you going to remember where that table or booth was? So my suggestion is to take a picture of the booth that you are at. Label it with a name, you know, in your camera roll, whatever you got to do. But you're going to need some sort of record of where you saw that card so you can go back and pick it up if necessary. Now, the reason I ended with the take a picture of the booth as my final do is that also kind of leads into my don'ts. And that is, don't spend all your money the first time you walk through the floor. It's very tempting, very exciting. You got a stack of cash that you've saved up to go to this thing and purchase some nice cards. You don't want to just walk around and buy everything you see, because obviously once the money is gone and you see something else, it might not have been the best purchase for you. Also, there might be several of that card at different dealers and you might find a better deal or find a way to do a trade or something like that. Don't overspend on a card just because you saw it at the National. It's very easy to get excited and just want to pay whatever the dealer's looking for on a card. Some dealers will ask more because it's at the National to try to see if they can get it, but know your comps and be willing to maybe go up on an eBay sale comp or something because you don't have the fees, things like that. Or go down, if you will, offer less than what the eBay comp would be since you're buying it in person and for cash. But use that to your bargaining advantage. Don't just all of a sudden overpay then for that card. So card shows are a little bit tricky, okay? So you have your two interests. You have your buyers and your sellers. And you don't want to offend either side of that transaction. So if a dealer's asking a certain price for a card, don't insult them over the price. See if you can find some way to negotiate on it. Show the positive sides to it. Man, that's a really nice card. I've been looking for this card. I'm glad there's a dealer here that saw value in bringing this card to the show, but I really think that I would be more comfortable paying this price for that card, for example. It opens a door, it's a positive, it's creating a relationship, and it goes much further in the negotiation than, hey, you got to sell that card to me cheaper because you got it priced too high. That's not going to be too appealing to the seller. Consequently, it goes the other way. If you go up and you're trying to make some sort of a conversation to see if you can make a deal on a card and the dealer just shuts you down and says, hey, should have brought more money if this is the card you want. That's what I'm selling it for. That might not be the dealer for you to work with. So keep that in mind. Every side of the transaction has its own interests, and you want to respect everybody's position. Try not to spend all day in lines. Okay, so if you're going to do your like a PSA submission or something like that, try to drop that off at a time when it's not the peak time of day to do that, probably early in the morning. Don't spend all day in line for an autograph. If you're an autograph collector, there's obviously nothing wrong with that, and this is a good show for that. There are some good signers there. Consider buying VIPs or super VIP tickets so you're not waiting in line all day for these autographs. You can jump that line a bit, get that accomplished, and then move on to see more of the show. Now, if you're only there for autographs and you don't want to pay the extra money to jump the line, then that's fine. Then you can wait in line all day. But to really experience the entire National, if you're truly there to experience the whole show, waiting in line for one autograph for an entire day is probably not the best way to do that. Don't underestimate the size of this show. So I watch a lot of videos on like the Dallas card show and the Atlanta card show, and I think Philly's got a pretty good size one. I go to a local one here that's 50 tables, something like that. And granted, Dallas is pretty big now, but it is nothing compared to the National. This convention center, the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, this place is immense. They host some very large conventions and shows and other things, and you're going to see an amount of tables and space being used that you've never seen before if you haven't been to a National. So make sure you don't underestimate that and think, oh yeah, no problem, I can get through the show in 2 hours, I only need to be there for a day, that kind of thing. It's not really that kind of a show. It does take a lot of time. It can be very overwhelming when you get there. So much going on, so much to see. So definitely don't underestimate it. Get a plan. There is a great floor plan of where all the dealers are going to be at the show. It's on the National Sports Collectors Convention website. I highly suggest you take a look at that if there's specific dealers you're going to be looking for. Maybe print that out and highlight some spots you want to visit, or do something with your, save it to your phone somehow. But I highly suggest you have some sort of true picture of what the size of the show really is. Don't get there late. So one of the best parts of this show is, if you're a VIP person, you can get in a half hour early. I would definitely take advantage of that. First ones to the boxes generally get the best picks. There's going to be lots and lots and lots of savvy collectors, investors at this show. If you don't get to a box in time and someone else thumbs through it and there's some gems in it, someone's going to find it. Now I'm speaking from the dollar box perspective, of course, because that's the main focus of my buying and flipping. But even on the big card end, if there's some big cards that are really seeing a lot of gains, there's a lot of popularity to a player, whatever, and a dealer has something underpriced, it's going to get scooped pretty quick. So try not to get there late. If you're going to stay in downtown Chicago, it can be anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes just to get to the convention center due to traffic. Try your best, especially if you have that half-hour early admission, to take advantage of that. Even if you end up leaving the show earlier in the day. So let's say you get there at 9:30 and get in early, and you decide to leave at 2 instead of staying till the end of the show. I don't remember what the end of the show time is. Let's say 5 o'clock. That would be a better plan than say, well, I'm going to get there at noon and then stay till the end. Don't be inflexible. I spent quite a bit of time in this video telling you how to plan and how to look at the map ahead of time and have a structure to what you want to do each day and so forth. But that being said, you got to add flexibility into that. There are things that are going to happen. You might end up at a dealer table you weren't expecting to be at for a longer period of time. You might make a deal on something and somewhere else you wanted to go, now you're not going to visit that, or so on and so forth. Or even the after events, oh, I'm going to be at this trade event, and you end up, kind of getting into a dinner with some other collectors or whatever the case may be. Make sure you have some flexibility to that plan. A show this big and this much going on, it's almost impossible to nail everything down to the minute on what you want to do. I hope you enjoyed this video, got some value out of it. I hope to see many of you at the National. If you see me and recognize me, I'd be happy to say hi. I will be shooting video there just about every day. Try to edit at night and get something up for everyone who can't attend. I think it's fun to watch the videos. You can kind of get a taste of the show without necessarily having to be there. And hope to meet many of you and maybe even get some watchers on camera and so forth. The show has really exploded over the past couple of weeks. My card show videos have been very popular and have gained me a lot of subscribers. I'm at 352 subscribers today, so more than doubled within almost a 2-month period of time. So that's a pretty good amount of growth. It's not the biggest channel, but we have fun and we like to look at some of the more realistic side of buying and selling and collecting and just having some fun with the hobby. So I look forward to like I said, meeting you there. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified when those types of videos go, well, and when any of my videos go up, but especially the card show videos will seem to be the biggest draw. I don't want you to miss anything, and I'd be happy to keep making the content as long as people keep watching. So until next time, we'll see you again soon.